Okay, hello. So this video, I I want to talk about some challenges that you're gonna need to understand if you're gonna stay in Vietnam for more than, let's say, a couple years. So I am on my 3-year anniversary right now. Well, technically it's in like 10 days, but this month is my 3-year anniversary. And I was always told about Vietnam that Vietnam is very, yeah, everything. I love Vietnam. So please don't think for a second that I disrespect or think anything is wrong with the way Vietnamese people, their culture, the work life, the love, like anything like. Please do not think that for a second. I just have some disagreements about the way that I view life that I'm starting to notice that is really becoming more challenging the longer that I stay here. So, one of those challenges, okay, or one of the things that I was told when I first moved here is that Vietnam is very unified. It's very, I don't like to use the word collectivist, but I mean that in the most respectful way there is, in the sense that people tend not to want to go against the flow. There is a natural order of how things are. You work, you pursue money, you want a house, you get a family, and any deviation from that is met with such confusion and such, from some people, disdain. I've actually had people, when I tell them that, look, my life path, the things that I choose, things that are important to me, might be a little bit different. I've had my life experiences went on a different course. Like, okay, let's say that we're all trying to get from point A to point B. Well, I've went maybe to point D to point E to point F, and now I'm getting to point B. You get what I'm saying? But like, this notion is lost on a lot of people that I speak to. If you do not subscribe to the notion that you must live your life a certain way, then you're not. I'm starting to notice that in a lot of people's eyes, you won't be Vietnamese to them. Not that you ever will be. But even if you have lived Vietnamese, if you have immersed yourself in the culture, even if you have the good times, the bad times, loved Vietnamese, everything there is, right? You're always going to be an outsider. That's just part of it, unfortunately. But you just be aware, okay? Now, if you're just a tourist, there's another thing too. If you're a tourist, you need to be very respectful when you come to this country, okay? Somebody showed me a clip, and yeah, it's on a stupid social media thing, right? And there was a bunch of American tourists that were slandering, being very disrespectful about how things are here. How things are here are a lot different than your delicate sensibilities back home in America, okay? Some of the best coffee you might have might come from the most unexpected places. Some of the most friendliest people you might meet might be from the most unexpected, people, villages, towns. I think that the ignorance of Americans, and I am American, so I put myself in that category. The ignorance of us is that we are secluded, right? We are a melting pot of a lot of different cultures, right? But we don't share a lot anymore. Everything that, okay, let me slow down my thought process. America is supposed to be this whole idea of a bunch of cultures coming together. So American, there's not one idea of what it is to be an American. I am not a representation of all Americans, right? Just like, 350 other million ones are not. And it used to be that we would take the parts best of each different cultures and, that would contribute into what this American vision was. So, Spanish culture, we take the best parts of that. Vietnamese culture, we take the best parts of that. Irish culture, Italian, so on. All because America is a country of immigrants. Therefore, it is influenced by a lot of different histories. But I'm kind of going off track. Just besides the whole tourist thing, just keep in mind, okay, things are going to be radically different when you get here. And just because something is different does not mean it's bad. Now, to the Vietnamese audience that are watching this, okay? If you, I know I'm speaking in English, and I know that a lot of you don't understand this whole idea that even if I spoke Vietnamese, I wouldn't tell you. Like, that just seems to just flabbergast. That word, no disrespect, but okay, that seems to confuse people. Why I withhold certain bits of information from just common knowledge, Why would you? Just for example, YouTube. YouTube is a character. It's a portrayal. It's safe for TV version of me. I would assume that everybody who does this would know that, understand that, but maybe somehow it's got lost in translation. But okay, to the Vietnamese, okay, understand this. Americans, some Americans, okay, you can sometimes be a little bit. If I had to give a little bit of criticism to a few Vietnamese people, right, that I associate with, if I had to give not a criticism but some advice, have faith in people, okay? Being different is not a bad thing. In our culture, we celebrate difference. And when I say by difference, I mean by like individuality. We're a very individualistic society. That is a very strong point of pride for what it is to be, to at least this American that's making this video, okay? We don't see that as a bad thing. If somebody doesn't want to buy a house at age 25, we don't see that as a bad thing. If you don't want to work the same job for 40 years, we don't see that as a bad thing. Like, what we see as a bad thing, though, is if you're, don't want anything, if you're just nihilistic and you're just taking from the system, taking from people, but you give nothing back. If you don't respect your fellow people, you don't respect your neighbor, you don't respect your country, you don't respect the world, and you give nothing back, well, then that's different. But be true to who you are is something that is very, very important to a lot of Americans. Be true to who you are and being able to accept people for who they are. And for some reason, that is very hard for some people. Now, I know that I am no paragon of like outstanding American, right? I am the exception, not the rule when it comes to what most Americans are like, foreigners are like. I am aware of that. But I would still ask that you please accept me, for who I am. Am I perfect? No, I'm not. I'm far from perfect. Do I have all the answers? Do I think I'm better? No, not at all. Am I living my dream? Yes. Am I happy? Yes. Yeah. Yeah, you could have bad days, but still be happy, okay? Have I made mistakes in this journey to Vietnam, in this dream? Yes. Does that disqualify the whole thing? Does that mean that I've failed this whole 3 years? No. Please accept me for who I am, just as I accept this country and you for who you are. Everybody needs help sometimes. Everybody struggles sometimes, and then sometimes you're on top. Okay? I'm making this video just because a lot of people seem to not have faith in me. That's your decision. If you are my friend, if you care for me, if you believe in this, if you don't even know me, well, I hope that I can pleasantly surprise you. For all the haters, I hope that I can disappoint you when I don't fail. For all those that love me and support me, I won't let you down. I'm not going to let myself down. Okay. This video will probably kick off any second, so I should probably wrap it up.